Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today, we're delighted to have our guest, America's AI for small businesses expert, Susan Frew. Susan, pleasure to have you on the show. If you don't mind, by starting introducing yourself and a bit of insights on your tech background and expertise. Not so much before we dig into it.
All right. Hello. Bob. Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet you recently, and this is quite an honor to be on here. But my
Thank you.
background started in New York City in the wireless emergence. So the first frontier of big tech was the wireless community, and I was part of that. Delighted to be so. And then I was transferred to Denver, and then I ended up being international general manager for two countries with AT&T Wireless. And then, I started speaking and got the bug. And, I've always been a lover of technology, though. And my entrance to AI was right away. I have been consuming massive amounts of information, classes, studies, podcasts, you name it, to learn all about it. And I am so excited about the possibilities for small business.
Amazing. Okay. You know what? Let's start with the wireless. You were the international GM at AT&T Wireless. How did that experience, I would say, in such a large corporation, shaped and set your approach to entrepreneurship and being a small business leadership?
Well, it's interesting because I was in charge of the countries of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, and I know this episode's going to have a timestamp on it, and they just experienced a really bad hurricane the last few
Oh,
days. And some of my former employees have been texting me and letting me know that they're okay. But when you are an expat like that and you're running a small property, you are running it like an entrepreneur. And that's basically how it was. And we were adding on dealers, and we were adding on customers, and we were turning on a community who didn't have technology to this brand new technology. And it was absolutely amazing. And I feel like we're in the same spot. And I just fell in love with the small business owners and the entrepreneurs. And when I came back to the States, I bought a business coaching franchise.
oh,
And in order to connect with my clients, I did a lot of speaking. I had a radio show on ESPN, was writing columns in the newspaper, and that's sort of how this whole thing happened. And when
you
my
know,
husband, yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't want to interrupt. Just hold that thought for a second. I heard of all type of franchise, but a life coach business franchise.
Business coaching, yes, called Action
Wow,
Coach. They're out of Australia. And
never heard of
yeah,
it.
they were the first, I think, coaching franchise. I think there's others now, though. You can have a
Uh huh.
franchise with Forbes, or you can have a franchise with EOS, and so on and so forth. But um, yeah, so it was pretty exciting. And my husband and I opened the plumbing and heating company in 2012, 2013. And we've been on that journey and falling in love. We've always been high tech, though, from the very beginning. My first keynote to the plumbing community was using tech tools to run your plumbing company. So we've always felt that we have been on the edge of that, and big changes coming for us too, regarding tech.
I mean, talk about an entrepreneur. Somebody is always innovating from working in the management, high upper management in wireless AT&T company, a wireless company, to plumbing, to being an instructor for SBA's emerging leadership or leaders program. Amazing. I mean, this how this whole thing impacted you, as and inspire you. I mean, I guess you were a born entrepreneur. I guess there's something in your blood. And what was the key lessons that really you took out of all of these experiences that you went through?
The key lessons of all these experiences is that no matter what happens with technology, as fast as it moves and as cool as it is, and all of the great things it's going to do, it does not replace heart to heart and mind to mind communication between humans. There has to be leadership, connection, personal relationships. And I think that that's where a lot of people are getting off track. They're like, oh, this AI is going to come in and take over everything. Well, it's never going to take over personal relationships. It's never going to be able to take over the human connection that a speaker has with their audience, whether that be virtually or on a stage. That's not going to happen. And I think our plumbers are going to be safe for a while anyway. But we're moving forward again in a whole new technological way with that company now too.
Amazing. From the plumbing, I'm going directly to AI, being the expert in AI for small businesses, expert. Uh, how this whole thing got started, and please shed some light on it. I'm really intrigued on it. You're becoming the America's, how should I say it? I don't want to just say expert, America's darling for AI
Yeah.
small businesses, expert. Yes.
Well, here's the thing, Bob. I've always tried to maintain some sort of absentee position with the plumbing company. I have been speaking professionally for over 10 years and been on the road quite a bit, but always of trying to find ways to innovate. And I think that what you saw from me, or what you see from me out on LinkedIn and social media, is, our plumbing company was struggling. We had a bad embezzlement. I wasn't around since I came back last year. I'm like, we have to turn this thing around, because my husband and I would like to plan an exit in 3 to 5 years, and we needed to renovate the company, and I mean renovate. And that's exactly what we did. And I have saved $150,000 out of the operations budget on a $2 million company, which is pretty significant, by using AI. So using an
Amazing.
AI answering service. We're not taking people's jobs with that. We're just not hiring any additional staff. We have an AI bookkeeper. We're using AI for a lot of our graphics. We're using AI in a lot of our marketing. So, chunk it all down, $150,000. And why I think that small business is responding to me is because I'm actually showing people this is how we're using it, and this is what happened, and this is how much we saved, and this is how efficient we've become. And now we're about to go almost virtual. 100%. Of course, our technicians are still going to come to people's homes, but I'm saying to myself, why do we need an office? Why do we need this? Why do we have all this technology? Let's just embrace it and dive in. And then I'm starting to teach our people in the field how to use the tech on site to get a faster response. I mean, sitting on tech support for some of these plumbing projects, oh my god, unbelievable. They'll sit on tech support for 2 hours. I'm like, no, we're doing it this way. We're using ChatGPT with this lens, and we're going to get the answer in about 3 seconds. So, every way that we can use it, we're using it and embracing all of the great things about it.
This is what I talk about, embracing technology, being part of it, adapting to it, and grow to it and learn about it, because it's going to advance you. Absolutely. I mean, your company saw an incredible amount of growth of 535% and under your leadership. And what was, the how should I say, the key moments or the strategies that played biggest role in your incredible success? Implementing AI, obviously.
Well, I think that the key moments of that are just trying to be different than other people. I have friends that are very creative in a very traditional sense. They're great painters or crafters or craftsmen, and I've never embraced any of that. My creativity comes through marketing and technology and trying new things. If the crowd's going left, I'm going right and going to find a new way. And I've always lived by this theory: you want to automate the ordinary and personalize the extraordinary, because that then gives you this really amazing white glove treatment. And I think we've also done a really good job with our niche. We have a very strong niche with a woman community. We're a woman owned company in a non traditional role. And I think that garners attention. And I also say this is very simple. If you're a small business owner, you need to be applying for awards because that's free publicity, and no one does it. Not that many people do it. Not enough people do it, and that really helps you to elevate your brand and to really get it out there and be unusual, be creative. Meet your customers where they are.
Amazing. It's called Words. That's right.
Excuse me.
What is it called? Words.
Words.
Yes. You said a lot of people not using it enough. They need to apply for words.
For awards.
Words.
Awards.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. So Inc. 5000 list, best places to work, the Torch Award by the Veterans Bureau. All of those things give you a tremendous amount of SEO oomph and great recognition in your community. And, a lot of people don't apply for them.
amazing. So you wear quite a few hats. You're a speaker also.
I do.
You're life coach, speaker. Let's talk about that. Like, you're a true entrepreneur. Obviously, you're a true entrepreneur. So you wear a few hats. You run an AI uh, plumbing company. You're a speaker. You're an advisor. Please, let's talk about the speaking part of it. I'm very intrigued.
Well, I consider myself to be a professional speaker first and foremost. I don't really consult anymore. That was something that I did for a long time. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. What I like to do, and I've just kind of created a new program for this recently. I went to a big organization earlier this year. I did their keynote for their annual meeting, and then I came back 90 days later, and we had for 2 full days we had a room full of entrepreneurs. And some of them brought people from their businesses, some of them came alone, and we mapped out all of their business processes from soup to nuts, everything. And then we figured out what
Mhm.
AIs we could use to make them more efficient, more profitable, um, you know, saving some time as well throughout all of that. And then we did, hands on. Day two was everyone bring your computer. We're going to teach you step by step how to do it. And that's really what lights me up is teaching people how to use AI in their
Very interesting.
businesses and to make them more successful.
Um, Susan, can we talk about compete on awesome with AI?
Yeah.
You highlight how AI boosts efficiency and save cost. Could you give us some particular examples, please, on how small businesses can leverage AI in these ways?
Well, one good example is definitely in their marketing, right?
Hmm.
Up until this point, we were all reliant on outsourcing to marketing agencies, what have you. And I don't think that marketing agencies are going away. I don't. But for small business, that's a huge expense.
It
And
is.
there's ways for you to be able to figure out how to do your own graphics, to how to do a month's worth of social media posts, in a few hours. I created an entire business a few weeks ago just because I wanted to see if I could do it. And I created it in one day.
Wow.
So I put up a website. I created a logo. I filed for the paperwork with the IRS. I filed with the state of Colorado. I got it all ready to go. All the social media channels, bam, in one day. Now that would have been
Hmm.
impossible 2 years ago. Impossible. And I did it
Yes.
myself. Uh,
So
and I do
AI.
love tech and I have a tech background.
Wow.
So not every single person would have been able to do that, but it's possible. And that's the thing. I like testing the what is possible out there. And
Hmm.
that's going
As
to be a big
someone,
difference.
yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, in one day you got all of this done. So I would say next year it'll be done within an hour, probably, or less.
Could be.
Yeah, yeah. As someone deeply involved in both coaching and entrepreneurship, how do you approach monitoring others who is looking to integrate AI into their business model?
First things first. You need to evaluate everything in your business for and with two lenses. One, where is there a bottleneck? And two, do I love doing this? Like, is this something I hate doing? Right? Because if you can find the pain points in your business of things that you're not good at, and you can delegate that to a technology, that enables you to step out in your brilliance and to be creative and to go and do what you do best. And maybe that's business development. How many entrepreneurs are listening right this moment? They are stuck in the office doing some sort of administrative work when they should be and would rather be out in the field doing business development, meeting, their clients, going to networking events, whatever that looks like in their industry. And they're stuck doing paperwork. Like, let's get rid of all that and go out and be free and do your genius, be the best you every single day that you love, that you're excited to get up in the morning and get to work.
Yes, yes, yes. And let AI do the administrative work. Yes,
Yeah, agreed.
absolutely. Yes, Um, in your book, again, compete on awesome with AI. It's been a guide for many entrepreneurs. Uh, what do you hope that your readers really take away from it?
This is what I think. um, People ask me this almost every single time I do a talk on AI: is AI going to take my job? The answer is always the same: no, but probably someone who knows AI could take your job. I say that to the entrepreneur community and even the solopreneurs. Your competitors are going to learn this. So either if you want to level up and you want to compete on awesome, compete with your competition and soar above them, you're going to need to have an edge. And by
Hmm.
sitting around, hoping that this is going to pass, it's not. It is not going to pass. The genie is out of the bottle. And I believe that you need to learn and embrace it so that you can understand the good, the bad, the ugly about the AI and find a way to make it useful in your business that works for you. And it's very personal experience, but your competitors are going to do it, and that is for sure, and they already are. And especially if you're a smaller business competing against a large company,
Hmm.
in the plumbing industry, for example, there's tons of consolidation happening with private equity groups, and they come in and they buy up a lot of small companies, and they now are this big giant company with bottomless funds. You can't compete with them on pay-per-click advertising and just traditional advertising out there. You need to find a way to cut through all that noise and to find a way that's going to work, that's not going to take you down with the cost.
Hmm. Interesting. Then, how do you balance innovation and cost effectiveness? We're talking about that when implementing AI solutions in businesses.
Well, I have a very tight budget for my AI
Hmm.
tools, because you could go crazy. I'm going to buy this program and buy that program, buy this program. So I keep sort of a running list uh, um, of what I'm spending on my AI. And then I just did an exercise. I was asked to do this for a conference that I spoke at. Where exactly am I saving the money? And I went through
Hmm.
each area, right? So we created an onboard and training program. Since we did that, we have not lost one employee because we took the
Wow.
time to write this comprehensive, amazing onboarding training
Hmm.
system, which is 7 hours of content. It took a week of me doing it almost every single day. I've created 2,000 processes, and it's built. Done. We save money on the bookkeeping. We save money on the answering service. We save money on the marketing. We're about to save money on a physical location, like all different types of things, and moving into a new generation of company that is going to lead the future and be sellable for us in 3 to 5 years.
Amazing. What are some of the common misconceptions people often have about integrating AI into their businesses?
They think it's going to be magic and it's just going to work like that. That is not how it works. What it works is, how it works is, you're going to have to find the gap and then
Mhm.
evaluate which products could potentially fit in that gap. And then you're going to have to learn how to use them and learn what's the best way. And it's ongoing learning. And these tools are constantly updating. I do a lot of work with HeyGen. They're the avatars, the video avatars, and I
Mhm.
love them because I created 40 videos a few weeks ago in about an hour. 40 videos. I just
Wow.
typed in what we wanted everybody to say. I have an avatar of me. My husband has an avatar of him. And I just type in. Uh, our employees have a rule with the avatars. You cannot fire anyone with my avatar, and you can't borrow any money or spend anything. But so, that is something that, we have to we were adding all kinds of things like that, because a whole video production like that would have cost thousands of dollars.
Amazing. I mean, for let's see, for our viewers and listeners on the show, entrepreneurs in tech, they're going to be inspired by you and by your story. And I would love for you to give us any of the specific risks you took in your career, and it panned out to be significant growth and learning for you. Can you share some of those risks that you took?
Well, I've taken a lot of risks, Bob. Not all of them have worked out though, which I sometimes
That's
think
part
those
of
are the
it.
ones. Those are the learning moments. I walked away from the plumbing company when it wasn't ready for me to walk away, and we ended up with a giant mess. And we have it went sideways, and we were gasping for air. And then the same thing happened again when I walked away when I wasn't ready. And that's really what pushed me now to create these systems. I was never a systems person. I'm not a systems person. I'm a visionary. I speak in broad strokes. And that's how I was running my company, which was wrong. I needed to have those tighter controls, which I did not have. And I also, we grew really fast in the beginning, and, costs got out of hand. And that happens. And it does. But, I always believe that, just keep going and figure it out later. And
Yes.
that's not everybody's cup of tea. There's some people listening to this going, "Oh no!" But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, there's a tightrope, and you have to be out on the skinny branches too. Like, you can't be holding on. Then, if that's you and that's your personality, that's awesome. But then you should stay in a corporate job. Being an entrepreneur takes a lot of guts, and there's a lot of sleepless nights, and it all looks really glitzy and glamorous, but it's not for everybody.
Yes. Absolutely. What emerging trends or advancement in the new AI trend world and advancement you're excited about?
I am excited about the analytics. I'll give you an example. I needed to create a budget for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
And I have key performance indicators of what is supposed to be, percentage of labor, percentage of everything in the plumbing and heating service space. So I took that and I put it into the AI. And then I took uh, year to date financials blindly, because I put it into an Excel spreadsheet, cut it out, just a bunch of numbers, and I threw it in there. And I said, please match create my budget for the balance of the year based on first half year's performance, and
Hmm.
using these key performance indicators, and boom, I had a budget in a minute and a half.
Wow.
Now I had to tweak it a little bit back and forth, but now how many entrepreneurs, first of all, don't know how to do that? I could have figured it out. It would have taken a long time. It would have taken me forever to do it, or I would have had to pay someone to do it,
Hmm.
and who wouldn't look at that kind of analytics. And I think that's the key too, like analyzing data of your customer list, analyzing data of your financials, analyzing data of your processes, that you're now able to put it in there and get pie charts and graphs and instructions and spreadsheets. And especially if you're not a spreadsheet person. I don't consider myself to be a spreadsheet person, but I found the AI that is.
Yes. Amazing. Extremely inspiring and insightful, I have to say. Um, Looking ahead, what advice you would give small businesses or owners who are hesitating in adapting AI into their technologies or into their business?
Well, don't be afraid. You can't. It's here, right? So we have to keep moving. We have to keep moving forward, and we need to learn. I
Mhm.
also say learn it and have fun and customize it. I have made so many custom GPTs now that help me in the business. And I have one for marketing, I have one for financial analysis. Um, and just think about that. If you can think about, man, what you can think about in your mind now, you can create. You can do, and I do a lot with this microphone right here, and I do talk instructions to my AI. And I also trained my AI to respond like I would. I'm an East Coast person. I'm
Wow.
short, short, short. Like I don't write. You're not going to get a 3 paragraph email from me. So I talk to text to the AI, ask it to write me this email, respond to this, whatever it is, and done. And I get rid of all the things I don't enjoy, which gives me more free time to do fun things like this podcast and learning more about AI because I consume hours and hours of new things every single week, and I absolutely love it.
You became a true prompt engineer, I have to say.
It's a little trial and error, but I think you commented. I put a post on LinkedIn about that. What I learned about leadership from my AI, and I've
Yeah.
always been a broad stroke person. Like, okay, guys, like here's this idea. Let's go do it. Like we just launched this dog wash business. It's called Pet Wash Pros, and we will come into your home and we will build a dog wash in your garage, your laundry room, your mud room, wherever you have
Mhm.
space, and we'll bring the hot and cold water in the drain, all that. And so I just came to the team like, look, this is what we're gonna do. Boom. And everyone's looking at me like, okay, well now what? Now what's next? Um,
Mhm.
but I learned from the AI because you have to give it such specific instructions to get
Yes.
the best response. It's the same way in leadership. If you give fuzzy instructions, you're going to
You're
get
going to get
fuzzy.
fuzzy results. You're
Exactly.
right. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it really taught me to stop and think about that. And, I used to say this to, when I coached years ago, people go, they have no common sense. And I was like, well, whose common sense are we talking about here? Right?
Yes.
Everyone has their own version of common sense. That's why very clear step by step instructions, which is how you speak to the AI, is really the best way to lead. So everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, you're a big fan like me of details. I'm a huge fan of details. When you give instruction, give details because nobody sits inside your mind and nobody gonna read it. Nobody gonna see your vision or your ideas or what do you foresee later on in the future. Be
Mm-hmm.
specific on it to get exactly what you want and more. Good,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, amazing, good advice, amazing. Um, anything to be, for our viewers and listeners and fans of yours, and people's going to be inspired to look out for any new business, new innovations, something that you're doing, or you're going to be speaking somewhere to go and listen to and get inspired by you.
Well, my podcast is launching probably within the next week or so. It is now July 2nd, July 3rd. So take a look for that. Compete on Awesome with AI. Summer is usually slow for conferences. So I will pick
Yes.
up my schedule again in September. Everything's on my website, susanfrewspeaks.com. Find me on LinkedIn. That's the best way. And I love to come out and speak to audiences of entrepreneurs, business owners, small, medium, large businesses. That's what lights me up.
Ama-
We'll make a custom GPT for your conference. We'll go out there and crush it and have some fun together.
Amazing. Inspiring. Well, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. It was really fun and extremely insightful and very inspiring and motivating. A true entrepreneur, obviously, and it just, you keep going and going and going. That's for everybody out there, for all our viewers and listeners at Entrepreneurs in Tech. Again, thanks for joining us today on Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Be sure to connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious. I always say that, and take care. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share. Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.